Hi guys, so today we are going to be making this bucket hats. It's very simple. Here are the tools you're going to need: your yarn, you need the scissors, a measurement tape, stitch markers, a tapestry needle, and the 4.5mm crochet hook. So let's get started. I'm using 2 of the yarn strands because I want it to be full. Yeah, so we'll make a magic ring. This is how you make a magic ring. Well, one of the ways you make a magic ring. Everyone has different ways of making it. So you chain 2. And in this magic ring, we are going to be adding 12 double crochets. So that's 1, because you're not going to count the chain 2 that we made before the double crochet. So that's 2 double crochets. Okay, here is how you actually make a double crochet. Yarn over, go into the magic ring, yarn over, bring it out, and then you have 3 in your hook. Yarn over, bring it out 2. Now you have 2 in your hook. Yarn over and bring out 1. That is a double crochet. We can actually take it again if you are not okay with that one. You yarn over, go into the magic ring, yarn over and bring it out. Then you have 3 on your hook. Yarn over again, take out 2. Then you have 2 in your hook. Yarn over, bring out 1. So that's exactly what you're going to be doing until you have 12 on the magic ring, without counting the first chain 2. Don't forget that. So we have 4 already. This is 5, 6, 7, 'Make sure you're securing it as you're putting it in. 8, 9, 10. Secure it, and let's count so don't make a mistake. You don't count the first chain. Okay, there we have 10 already. So 2 more and we have 12 in the magic ring. That's 11 and that's 12. That's 12 in the magic ring. So you secure it by dragging the rope you left behind when creating the magic circle. Then pick out the very first stitch in the very beginning and go into it to make a slip knot. So you put it inside, yarn over, bring it out. Don't yarn over this time around, just bring it out. That is how you make a slip knot. Yeah, then you chain 2, and in that same stitch you go into it with a double crochet. 2 double crochets actually on the same stitch. That is what we're going to be doing in this second row. You put 2 stitch each in 1 stitch. That's 1 and that's 2 in same stitch. The next stitch you put in 1 double crochet and 2 double crochets. Keep going like that all around for round 2 until you get to this beginning part. Okay, so we are almost at the end of round 2. I just want to do the last 2 double crochets on the last stitch with you before we slip stitch. Always make sure that your counts must end with 2 double crochets at the very end before you slip stitch into the very first stitch, just like this. And now chain 2, and in that same stitch you do just 1 double crochet, and then go to the next stitch. The very next stitch you put in 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then in the next stitch you put in just 1 double crochet, and in the next you put in 2 double crochets. So the pattern for this row 3 is going to be 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Always make sure you are counting, because if you don't have the right counts, you've missed the whole point of actually making the hat itself. So you keep going, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. 1 double crochet in one stitch and 2 in the next stitch, 1 double crochet in one stitch, and make sure you end with a 2 double crochet always. So go around it just like that, and I'll meet you here. So here we are at the end of the round 3. Just go in with your last 2 double crochets, and then slip stitch on the very first stitch where you started from. And that's the end of our row 3. And then for row 4 you chain 2 again, and inside the same stitch you put 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch you put in 1 double crochet. So this pattern is going to be 1 1 2 1 1 2. So in this one you put 2 double crochet in same stitch, and then you repeat again. The next stitch is going to be 1 double crochet. Even if you don't want to count, you see wherever you have 2 double crochet stitch is where you're going into 2 double crochet. So we see 1 double crochet, the next stitch is 1 double crochet. So the next stitch is supposed to be 2 double crochet. So as you can see, the bottom is having 2 to indicate that that is exactly where you're supposed to put the 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and in the same stitch you put in 2 double crochets. So that is what you're going to walk around with for this row. You continue going with 1 1 2. Two double crochets on the stitch, 1 and then 2. You go like that all around, and I'll meet you here. End of row 4. So now we are going to slip stitch. For row 5, we are going to chain 2, and inside the same stitch you are going to be putting 1 double crochet. Same stitch, 1 double crochet, and in the next stitch you are going to put in 1 double crochet, and in the next you're going to put in 1 double crochet. So this pattern is going to be 1 1 2 1 1 2. So as you can see, where there is 2 double crochets is where you're supposed to put in your 2 double crochets. That stitch is going to get 2 double crochets. So that's 1, and in same stitch another double crochets. Yeah, so you keep going 1 1 1 and then 2. That's the pattern for row 5. 1 1 1 and then 2. Where you have the 2 in the previous row is where you put the 2 double crochets now. So now you're going in with 2, 1 and then 2, and you repeat again in the next stitch. You keep going 1 1 1 and 2 until you get to this part, and I'll meet you there. So this is the end of row 5. I'm just going to put the last 2 double crochets in the end of this row. 1 and then 2. So you pick the last stitch as usual and slip stitch. Always mark the stitch because that's where you're going to be starting the next row. So you chain 2, and in that same stitch we're going to be putting in 1 double crochet. This time around we're doing 4 double crochets and 2 double crochets. So that's 1 2. You don't count the very first chain 2, don't forget that. And this is 3, and now we have 4 double crochets. So now in this stitch we're going to be putting 2 double crochets like in the previous row. 1 and then 2. Then you start all over again. You put 1 2 3 4 in 4 different stitches, and on the 5th stitch you put in 2 double crochets. So you keep going 3 and then 4, and now this stitch is going to have 2 double crochets. 1 then 2. So that is the pattern you follow for this row. Row 6, you'll be doing 4 double crochets and 2 until you get to this place, and I'll meet you there. So this is the end of row 6. As you can see, the increase has taken it to this point. So now we introduce our measurement tape. The top of the hat is supposed to be 7 inches. I want to make it 7 inches because I'm doing it for myself. So 7 inches is my own measurement, but you can make it bigger if you want. Just keep going around and doing the increase in every next stitch that I've been telling you about. So now we have 6.5 stitches, but I still want to make it 7 inches. So what I'll do now, I'll introduce the white yarn. That's the pattern for it. And then I'm going to be using the white yarn to actually make it 7 inches before I go to the body of the hat. So this is how you change colors when you're working with crochet. It's very simple. Just pay attention and you'll get it right. So in the slip stitch, instead of actually using the same yarn color, just bring in the other yarn color and bring it out from your slip stitch that you're doing, and cut out the previous yarn color. Turn it to the back and secure it by tying it. Tie the previous yarn color you cut and the new yarn you just introduced, and just tie it at the back. Secure it very well. I like to tie it twice so it can be secured. Yeah. So now we are going to chain 1, because this time around we are not doing double crochet with this white. We are going to be doing a single crochet all around, and the increase is going to be different, so pay attention. So what I'll do is I'll put 1 single crochet. You know this is different, so for single crochet we don't yarn over. You don't. So you go into the stitch, yarn over, bring it out, then now you yarn over and bring it out. That is how you do a single crochet. Go into the stitch, yarn over, bring it out, then yarn over. So now we are going to be doing an increase, but not as we have been doing with the double crochet. So this increase is going to be longer. What I'll do, you skip the first increase and keep going with 1 single crochet all around. And when you get to the second increase, that is when you increase. So there you put 2 single crochets. Well, if you want to count it, it will be better actually. So what I did is I put in 10. Let's count it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then on the 12th stitch is where I did my increase. So count 11 stitches, then on the 12th you make an increase by putting 2 single crochets in the 12th stitch. But it's easier for me because I actually use my method. Wherever I see the double crochet from the previous row, the increased parts which have 2 double crochets in 1 stitch is where I just put the single crochets, skipping 1 doubles and going into the next one. So count 11, and in the 12 you increase. Just keep going like that on this round. Yeah, that's what you keep doing all around, and I'll meet you here. So here we are, and this is going to be the end of our increase rounds. We are not increasing anymore. So this last stitch, we're going to put in 2 single crochet, which is the very last increase we're going to be doing for the top of the hat. And then we're going to slip stitch in the very first stitch we started with, like we've been doing. Here is the first stitch, so you slip a stitch. So for the next round, we're not increasing. We're just going to be putting 1 single crochet all around in this row, because this row now is going to start the body of the hat. So this is the top of the hat already. So if we measure it now, it will amount to 7 inches, exactly what I want. So that is exactly what I want. But if you want a bigger hat, you can keep going on and just doing your increase you know, depending on your head size. So for now, I'm going to be doing just one single crochet all around. So chain one and same stitch, you start with your single crochet to keep doing the single crochet without an increase, no increase at all. You keep doing this until you get to the very end. So here we are with our no increase stitch. So now we are introducing the gray yarn color we used at first. So now this is how we change the color. So we are going to go to the very first stitch we started with. So instead of taking the white, we'll now introduce the other color. This is how to change colors. So we'll bring it out and bring it out on the next row. Chain one just to secure it and turn the back. But first cut off the previous yarn you're using. And then with that yarn left over, you tie it with the one that you're introducing. If you look closely, you'll understand it better with what I'm saying instead of what I'm saying. I like to tie twice just to keep it secure. And make sure you always check it whenever you do it to make sure that the other color is not overpowering the one you're changing with in front, because we don't want a rough work. So you see? So the back has all that, and in front, it's like nothing happened. Yeah. So now we are going back to our double crochet because this is the body of the hat. So we're going to do double crochets, but this time with no increase. We're done with increasing. So the body of the hat is what we're going to do now. I think I'm going to be doing 5 rows, no increase, just doing double crochet in each stitch, chain 2, and on same stitch, that is where you start, double crochet with no increase. You just keep doing 1 double crochet in each stitch, 1 double crochet in each stitch. With no increase. You just keep going with 1 double crochet in each stitch. No increase all around, and I'll meet you here. So here we are. Just finishing the double crochet in the very last part. Then slip stitch. 2, you chain 2 again and just keep doing double crochets as you go. Just keep doing it in every round, just 1 double crochet with no increase. You keep going until you get to the height you want for your own head size. Well, me, I'm going to be doing 5 or 6 rows as I go. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Then the white designs with 2 single crochet, and now we started with 1. So I'll do more 5 rows with no increase, and then I'll meet you there. Yeah, just keep going around with 1 double crochets in each stitch with no increase at all. So here we are. I ended up doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. So this is the end of my 6th row for the body of the hat. Just want to complete it with you before I slip stitch. I usually like to do like a 2.5 inches or 3 inches on this body before I start on my brim. So let's check what we have now. Okay, here we have 3.5 stitch. Yeah, if you want to calculate the white. Well, if you want it longer, you can always continue just doing 1 double crochet all around. But I'm going to stop here with no increase. But now I want to put a white to put my aesthetic. Yeah, so I want to introduce the white again. We're going to be doing 2 rows of single crochet of white all around, just like we did at the top with no increase at all. I'm just going to do 1 single crochet on each stitch until I get to the end, and continue again. Just keep doing 1 single crochet, and here we are. And now we are done with the body of the hat. But if you want your own longer, you can always continue just doing what you want. So now we are going to start with the brim. So we are changing color, going back to the gray color. So we are going to slip a stitch and introduce the other color. Make sure you secure it and it's tight, and cut out the white color now. Turn it to the back and secure it very well by tying it. Yeah, fully secured. So now we are going to chain 2. We are back to our double crochet, no single crochets anymore. You chain 2, and on the same stitch we are going to be putting in a double crochet. And then the next stitch, another double crochet, and then the next we're going to put 2 double crochets, because on this first row of the brim I want it to be 2 1 1 2. So 1 double crochet on each stitch in 2 places, and the third stitch we got 2 double crochets. So that's the pattern we're going to be working on the first row of the brim. So that's 2 double crochet in 1 stitch. Don't forget, we're going to do that all around. 1 1 2, 1 1 2. I'll meet you here. So this is the end of the first row in the brim. Let's complete it. 1 1 and then 2. we always end with 2 double crochets. Like I've been telling you, on the increase, always make sure that you end up with 2 double crochets. And now we're going to slip a stitch in the very first stitch we started with. Chain 2. So you can see the brim is forming already. It's coming out. It's not like the body already. So now in that same stitch, we're going to be putting 1 double crochet. So this time the pattern is going to be 3 double crochets in 1 each stitch and 2 in the 4th stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and in the 4th stitch is going to be 2 double crochets. 1 and then 2, like I've told you. So when you're increasing, always make sure that you see the one in the previous row where there is 2 underneath. That's where you put your 2. So even if you don't want to count, just follow the previous row. You see the increase and you know that is where you're going to enter. And then where there is 2 is where you put 2 double crochet. One, 2, 3 double crochets, and here we have 2 double crochets. That is where you increase by putting in 2 double crochets. So it's 1 1 1 and 2, 1 1 1 and 2. Don't forget your counts. Do it all around it and I'll meet you here. So here we are, round 2 of the brim. At the end of the round 2 of the brim, we're just going to do the last 2 double crochets. You know, I always like to end it with you guys. Yeah, and then you slip stitch to close up the round 2, row 2. Yeah, so here's row 2. You just continue the pattern as you go and you increase and increase. So now the next increase is going to be 1 1 1 1. That's 4 on each stitch. Then on the 5th stitch you have 2 double crochets. 1 1 1 1. That's 4 on each stitch, and on the 5th stitch you have 2 double crochets. Just keep doing that until you get the length of the brim that you want. Sometimes we want it longer or shorter. So here's the end of round 3, sorry. I want to do 4 rows. Yeah, I ended up doing 4 rows actually. Yeah, 4 rows of the brim is what I did. Yeah, you see how it comes out. So this is the end of the hat. See how beautiful it looks. Yeah. So now we introduce the tapestry needle. That is what we are going to use to work in all of our ends. We need to make it look neat. So you see all these ends, all this yarn you're seeing, we're going to work them inside to make it as good as new. Yeah. So let's start with this white. You thread the needle and then go into the stitch at the back. Going to the points of the white just to hide the yarn as you go. And as you're doing that, make sure you're checking in front that you are not making a mess in front. like this. See, there is no mess at all. Good as new. Always check it when you're going, then you go back. Just keep putting it in the holes that you can find at the back. So when you see it's very secure, I like to tie my own just to be sure, because I don't want the threads coming out somehow. So you see how secure it is before you cut out the excesses. So that's how you hide the threads. So do it for all of them, and then you are done with your heart. Beautiful, isn't it? If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more, okay?